I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not worry about the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. And in fact, we are going to be talking about a lot of light, because if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Fresh Ideas and New Moves. And that is because yesterday there was a fabulous full moon at 22 degrees of Gemini. And Gemini does rule two of everything. It's the sign of duality, and it does rule communication and change. But the reason why there can be fresh moves, fresh ideas and new moves, is because there is a beautiful grand trine in the conceptual, creative, and expressive air signs. That's what Gemini is. So Jupiter in Libra is trining the full moon in Gemini, and also Mars and Venus in Aquarius are trining them as well. And so that can give a lot of people fresh ideas in an enthusiastic way, which is great. And then on top of that, there are 3 other planets in a grand trine too. And that is because the Sun and Saturn are conjuncting in Sagittarius today, and they are trining Uranus in Aries. Remember, Uranus rules sudden change and very surprising events that can occur. And it is trining the planet Saturn, which is a very staid planet, but Saturn is being lit by the Sun. And so those 3 planets are also trining the sign of Leo, the sign of leadership. Well, air and fire are very compatible, just the same way as water and earth are compatible. And that is because air fans the flames. It sort of makes the fire glow even more brightly. And the good earth needs water to nurture it so things can grow. And so that is why air and fire are compatible, and water and earth are compatible. And so with 7 planets just in the expressive air signs and in the dynamic, action-oriented fire signs, this is a time when a lot of great ideas can sort of get off the ground. One thing Gemini rules is transitions. And so there is the possibility that there can be people around now that could sort of expedite their plans or speed them up a little bit by simplifying things. And that could, if you simplified things or you sort of relax the rules and regulations, that might allow for some sort of smooth and easy transition. And that means that you could get your good ideas into practice a little more quickly. There's also the fact, though, that with the Sun and Saturn conjunct in Sagittarius, and since Saturn rules experience, and it can rule people who are pretty high up in the public eye, they can be leaders of industry, for instance, or they can be people with so much experience that they are wise. And so it's possible that the courts, which is what Sagittarius rules, or higher education, and people in senior leadership positions can be very particular now about the proper steps to take to get something going. But once they agree on all these steps that have to be done, they can be very thorough in setting up plans, so that when something does finally get initiated, it can more or less click into place. In other words, if you were going to make a change, a big change too, you might want to make sure that everything is working in a progressive way so that the change actually does occur without too many bumps and slips in it. And that way, if you make sure everything is set up properly, then it can click into place. And the idea of something just clicking into place after a lot of thorough preparation is because the Sun and Saturn are trining Uranus, that planet of sudden change, which is in Aries, the sign of new beginnings. So if you want a new beginning to start, you've really got to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row, or that you've got everything set up so that it can start pretty smoothly and just sort of click into place and do that, which would be great. And yet there are some planets that are causing confusion or problems, and that is because that same Sun and Saturn in Sagittarius are being harshly squared by Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and it is direct now. And that Sun and Saturn are opposing the full moon in Gemini. And so what that means is that there are some people with old grudges, Saturn, remember, rules time and age, that may not be able to succeed right now. In other words, they could have been trying to make sure with an old grudge that somebody was stopped from being successful, but they can't succeed right now. And that is because the grand trine in air signs under the full moon in Gemini is just too strong. It's got a lot of good planets trining it. And so those people with old grudges cannot succeed. They are not going to be able to settle their grudges at all. And the reason why is, you remember Neptune is involved, is because the dream they have has sort of died, and it has died from neglect. In other words, people who were really not paying attention to making the dream come true, they were just sort of dreaming it, probably neglected a lot of things, and that's why their dream has died. That's why even if their dream was to settle a grudge, that's not going to work either right now. And that is also why there are a lot of really good ideas around, fresh ideas, and why there can be some very nice, quick moves going on because they're stimulated by these fresh ideas, almost the way that water can pour down from a pure mountain stream right now. Things are flowing rather smoothly as far as great ideas and fast moves are concerned. So I hope you're alert to that. And if you simplify things, perhaps you can make a transition a lot more easily, and that could help you as well. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that this is a time when you can be helpful in listening to people who are senior advisors who do want to make some sort of change. They want to make some sort of new beginning, but they may need a lot of time and preparation to get everything set up first, and you could be helping them with that. And so when something clicked into place, you would be included in that. That would be great. But on the other hand, if there is the possibility that you are not agreeable to something changing, it could be because Jupiter in Libra is opposing Uranus in your sign, and Jupiter is being trined by that full moon and also by Mars and Venus in Aquarius. So the fact that there's an opposition to your own sun sign and to Uranus by Jupiter in the planet of partnership and love and marriage is an indication that there is the possibility of some sort of separation that I think is going to go through. I don't know when it's going to go through, but I think somebody has decided they're going to go their own way. And they've sort of had it. I don't think they're angry with you, Aries. I just think that they've decided to go for a little bit better future, and they can get a lot of help with creative people right now, and so they're going to go for that. And also, Pluto in Capricorn is squaring your sun along with Mercury, and that simply means that when changes in corporate or government policies come through, you may not really like them. And the reason why is that they could be insisting on having more training, higher qualifications for jobs. And if you don't quite fit the bill, Aries, then what you might want to do is make some sort of a quick change yourself, which I think you could do, particularly if you go back to something that you've done before. You could be welcomed with open arms, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, remember I said that Mars and Venus in Aquarius are squaring your sun's, they are squaring your sun sign, and they're beautifully lit by that full moon in Gemini, which is right ahead of your sun sign. So I think, Taurus, even though yours is a fixed sign, and even though it's a financial sign, and you usually have your mind on money and the value of things, I think there is the possibility, since Gemini does rule buying and selling, that you may see an opportunity to either move or buy something or sell something or market some good idea of yours. And I would do that if I were you, Taurus. You might need the money. And that is simply because, you know, wages have not gone up as quickly as prices have. So everything can be a little bit more expensive now. And if you can do a little bit of buying and selling or negotiating under these fabulous aspects in air signs, that could really get you moving forward, Taurus. And it could put more money in your pocket. So this is a good time for you to market something, and maybe even to move and change neighborhoods. Maybe you could affect your costs that way. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, the full moon yesterday was in your sun sign, and it really was beautifully aspected because Venus and Mars in Aquarius, which is the sign of the future, were trining the full moon, and Jupiter in Libra was also trining the full moon. So you have plenty of support right now for your fresh ideas, Gemini. And if you're thinking of making some sort of easy change or transition, you might want to do that by simplifying your life, or simplifying the things that you're doing, maybe cut down on a few of them so that you can focus more clearly on what your highest priorities are and just concentrate on those, because you'd get some good partners to help you who could be very generous to you right now. And also there can be other people that have sort of a sense of urgency about getting something going and working on a better future right now. They could have a financial reason for that, but since yours is a creative sign, I think that you should be listening to a lot of good ideas and then bringing people together. Gemini is the sign of the middleman and connecting people. And if you can do that, I think that you'll be very successful with fresh ideas and new moves right now, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when still you can be stressed out a little bit by the changes that other people are contemplating. And the reason why you can be stressed out is they're not your ideas, and there are so many good ideas around right now, and there is enthusiasm for making them work in one way or another, that I think that you really should expect change right now, Cancer, and you won't be in control of it. Other people will be instead. But the full moon yesterday in Gemini was right behind your sun sign, so there's a lot of light in the background of your life, and it might be you that's contemplating some sort of easy transition or some sort of move. It could be a move that isn't too far away. It could be in your neighborhood or in some close community. Or it can be that you know young people are wanting to make changes, and maybe you would be quite willing to help them do that instead. So that is really good, Cancer. You can do a lot of good right now by being supportive of other people's fresh ideas, because there are a lot of them around, and it looks to me like they're going to be successful and they're going to be implemented rather quickly. So if you sort of go along for the ride and support others, I think that that will make them very happy, and that'll be good for you too, Cancer. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, remember I said there's not only a grand trine in air signs under the full moon in Gemini, but there is a trine in fire signs as well. So you, Leo, have the Sun and Saturn in Sagittarius trining your Sun, and you also have Uranus and Aries trining your Sun. And because there is also a grand trine in the air signs, it simply means that there are people with a lot of fresh ideas right now, or there's a lot of conversation going on, or people are making plans and setting schedules. And that's great, except that, you know, there's got to be some action taken as well. And that's what you're good at, Leo. And since your sign is the sign of leadership, I think that as people come to you with their great ideas, I think you are going to be the hero of the hour by having a plan to get those ideas put into action in a simple way. And so I think that you're sort of full of energy and enthusiasm and ready to go as we are looking at the new year. And I do think that you'll be successful, particularly in 2017. So now is the time to sort of look and listen and keep your eyes and ears open, Leo, because there's a world of opportunity out there for you, and I think you're going to love it when it comes your way. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when I think that you are going to be not exactly passed over, But I don't think that you will be considered in the midst of all these fresh ideas that are floating around or new moves that can occur quite suddenly. And the reason why is the full moon in Gemini was squaring your sun sign. And the Sun and Saturn were also squaring your sun sign, and Neptune in Pisces is opposing it. And so I think that other people are so full of enthusiasm and great ideas and plans to go places and do things right now, that I don't think that they are ready to enlist your help yet, Virgo, but they will be. Mercury, your own ruler, and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun, so in the long run, you are going to come out just fine. But I think that as the ideas boil over and as the transitions start and the new moves are initiated, there still isn't anything really concrete in place yet. And I think when something does gel and it gets put into place and there really is a specific plan that can be implemented or clicked into place, that is when you'll be included, Virgo, because you're such a good problem solver, and your talents of management, good time management, and efficiency and accountability, those talents will be used, but not while the ideas are just floating around. They'll be used after those ideas have gelled, so you need to be patient. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a wonderful full moon for you in Gemini yesterday, because after all, it's trining Jupiter in your own sign, and it's trining your sun sign ruler, Venus, along with Mars in Aquarius. So I think you've got your mind on a better future, Libra, and this is a great time to talk to other people or to initiate some sort of easy transition. You may be thinking of moving or downsizing or sharing your home with other people, or it can be that you know young people who want to move on and have all kinds of ideas about how to do that. So there is a transition going on somewhere in your life, Libra, and I think that it is aspected for success. So whether it's your own or somebody that you know, I think it's going to work out, particularly as the time gets a little bit closer to initiating a new project, and then things can really be moving pretty quickly. So I think your challenge right now, Libra, is to be as diplomatic as possible with other people that are in sort of a hurry and they can be a little bit impatient. But still, you're very good at smoothing things out, Libra, and you're going to have some wonderful opportunities to do that, and you're going to be much loved and very appreciated for your contributions at this exciting time. So whether you are the leader or whether you're helping a leader, and whether you're making the move or it's your idea, it doesn't matter. As long as you're included in the group, you're going to be very happy, Libra, and I think you're going to be well regarded for your efforts. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time still when you've got to be careful with the money. And the reason why is that Venus and Mars are still in Aquarius, and they are being beautifully lit by the full moon in Gemini, which is trining them, and also by Jupiter in Libra, which is trining them. But those two planets are actually squaring your sun sign and the sign of Taurus, which are the two fixed financial signs. So this is not a good time for you to take a gamble. And if you have had some sort of a dream that you didn't pay too much attention to, or you neglected, or you refused to really face the reality of it, then that dream is over now, Scorpio. And I think that it's better just for you to let it go right now and begin to think of your own ideas for what you want to do in a better future, because the emphasis is on fresh ideas. And if you don't have a fresh idea right now, maybe you can sort of scratch your head and come up with one, because they're in the air. And it could be that you just want to listen to other people's great ideas. And also, beyond the idea comes the time when you have to put it into action. And if you're not really ready to do that, or if you don't have a new dream to replace the old one, then this would just be a better time to step back a little bit and rest and recover. You may be a little disillusioned about something, or you may not quite know what your next step is or what your next dream is. So this might be just a really good time for you to take a breather, Scorpio, and keep busy, but try not to spend money. Particularly, don't take a gamble on anything. It wouldn't work out. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, this is a wonderful time for you because the Sun and Saturn are conjuncting in your sun sign, and that simply means that you could be part of a team of senior leadership that is trying to make a pretty big decision about a plan that has a lot of different steps to it. And you may be instrumental in helping draw people together that can set up something that once it's done, once it's well planned and well thought out and well constructed, then it could just click into place. And you may need some fresh ideas for that. Well, they're around. But the Sun and Saturn in your sign are actually opposing the full moon in Gemini. And so I don't think that you're actually interested in short-term things right now, Sagittarius. I think you're interested in something very serious. Saturn is a serious planet. It will stay in your sun sign for one more year. It might take another year to get some serious plan well thought out so that it can click into place. But if you feel like being a part of a longer range plan right now, or something that's in the formative process, I would go ahead with that, Sagittarius. It's pretty well aspected, and as long as you're serious about it and very patient and willing to take small steps, I think you can be looking at success next year. It's just going to take you a while to get there. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when the full moon in Gemini is 150 degrees away from your sun sign or in conjunct. So I'm not sure that you're full of fresh ideas at the moment, Capricorn, and there aren't any other planets in the other Earth signs. So with Mercury in your sign, you certainly can be thinking and making plans, but it might not be the correct time to implement them at the moment, but it certainly could be in a few weeks, and when the Sun goes into Capricorn. And when that happens, you probably will be able to start something that you have been thinking about for a very long time. And I wouldn't wait any longer than that. I think that you're ready to take another big step in your life toward a goal that you have been thinking about for and preparing for it seems like forever. And I think you should. In other words, if you feel that you're sort of stuck in a rut where you are, then I think that you really should decide to get out of it and leave it behind and take the next leap up or climb higher. Your sign rules the mountains. You are good at climbing higher, and you are patient and methodical. So I think that you're coming into a good time for that, Capricorn, but it isn't quite here yet, but you're close. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, you certainly can benefit from the fact that the full moon in Gemini yesterday was trining your sun, and Jupiter in Libra is also trining your sun. So that means that fresh ideas can be flowing very, very smoothly towards you, Aquarius. And I think you have a sense of urgency, Mars is in your sign, to get something underway or to get going. You may want to make a change. You may want to move. You may want to bring on new partners. You might want to start your own business. Whatever it is, I think that this is an exciting time for you to get your ideas out there and get some feedback, and maybe think about taking your ideas one step further and really doing something about them. Because this is a very good time for you to attract like-minded people, other people that would probably like your ideas, or they can see a way to make an easy transition in order to implement your idea in one way or another. So I think you need to brainstorm with other people, Aquarius. Don't just be the Lone Ranger right now, not when there is so much good support coming your way. Take advantage of it if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, This is simply a time with that full moon in Gemini squaring your sun, when there are a lot of fresh ideas floating around, but they haven't exactly landed yet. And so you could be a person who's sort of waiting for things to happen, or you could be on the verge of something right now, but not really there yet. And that's all right. We're in the holiday season anyway, and that can cause enough interruptions. And also the Sun and Saturn are squaring your sun. So it can be that there is some senior leadership around that is demanding that higher standards be set, or that there has to be a definite plan of action that you've got to adhere to in order to make a dream of your own come true. And I think that you'll have to take the bitter with the sweet right now, Pisces, and listen to other people. And if they're outlining some steps that you have to take before you can achieve your goal, then I don't see any way around it. I think that you will have to do it. The thing that could be possible is that you may benefit from some relaxation of rules and regulations so that there can be an easy transition of some type. That might appeal to you right now, but I actually think you're going to have to start adhering to stricter standards somewhere in order to achieve your goal. But if you want to be successful, I guess that's the price you have to pay. But go ahead and follow your dream anyway, Pisces, because Neptune is direct right now. You could make some forward progress right now on something that is your secret heart's desire if you want to. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.